Oh, hi. Hi. Sorry, I left the room for a minute.
Okay. Now you're
Yeah.
back. Your
Yeah,
name?
sorry.
Where are
Sorry,
you
a little
calling from?
nervous. Oh, Patrick.
Patrick, you're calling from?
Oh, I'm from New Orleans, but I'm calling from Virginia.
Okay. And what is on your mind, Patrick, formerly from New Orleans?
Yeah. My question was, well, I mean, so my parents watch a lot of MSNBC. Unfortunately, they don't watch it when you're on.
Oh,
But
I understand.
yeah, yeah, that's the bad part. But my parents are for quick reference, I'm a Marxist. I've been a Marxist for the past couple of years, considered myself one. And people like my parents and a lot of people I know, like in my family and around me, they're with me morally, but not ideologically. And I think part of that is that there's very little representation of like an actual leftist argument in American media.
Right.
And I was curious as to what you think, how we can really put those people, like give them more of a spotlight. Because I think that if you put it more in like a global context, you would get more people who would, like they wouldn't shake at socialists. Like they wouldn't freak out if like someone said like I'm a Marxist, I'm a democratic socialist or a social democrat. And I was curious as to what you thought we could do to like contact those people more clearly.
Well, and I think at this point, I'm probably, and I will also say that I do not watch MSNBC that much, but I am probably about as far left on that network as it gets,
You're a
and
fucking sellout.
I am a sellout. Um, the I just don't think that people can reasonably expect, and maybe reasonably, I'm just using in terms of like I'm not making a value judgment on that. That these cable news outlets, which are owned by major corporations, I mean, MSNBC is still owned at least a minority share. I don't know, 49% or something by GE. Comcast owns the majority share. But for a long time, GE owned the majority share. And they are one of the, if not the largest weapons manufacturers in the country. And Comcast, of course, is, a behemoth. And so the idea that they're going to put any anti-capitalists on their network, it's just I just don't think that's going to happen. I think really, and what your folks are about in their 50s, 60s, maybe?
They're around like 55. Like they're kind of like, I guess you call them like Kennedy Democrats. Like they still really love Bobby Kennedy and people like that.
Yeah.
Bobby Kennedy.
Well, I think
they like Chris Matthews.
Look, I think the bottom line is that.
Oh, my dad loves Chris Matthews.
Yeah, I love it back.
He's like, yeah, he's basically in love with Rachel Maddow.
Oh, ooh, no, I don't like Rachel Maddow, but
listen,
I love Chris Matthews.
The bottom line is just going to be that your generation is going to get its news less and less from cable news, and more and more from sort of the web, where there's going to be a less of a bar to entry for people. And so, on this program, we interview, we have Marxists and anarcho-communists and across the spectrum. And we interview Marxist thinkers and various, critiques of capitalism. And as, time goes on, more and more people are going to get their news from shows like this, where there's, less of a bar to entry. We started this program with no money whatsoever, and just a little bit of Radio Shack equipment. And so I think that's going to change over time. But I don't think there is a I would not hold your breath. Let's put it that way. I mean, maybe you see someone like, Michael Moore will get on MSNBC occasionally, and I think he has a critique of capital, but it's not,
Michael Moore, isn't this what Bobby Kennedy was trying to do?
And so I think, the the reality is that I just don't think. I think the idea is just try and move your parents just as a little bit to the left as possible and get them to vote in the right way. And
Cory Booker, isn't this like getting your first hand job? You're sort of shy about it, but excited. It's a historical moment. Anyways, we wish you the best of luck.
No, I feel you. Trust me. My family is much the same way. I love them very much. I felt really bad having to explain to my mom that I was not actually going on the Rachel Maddow show because someone made a funny Photoshop poster for the Katie Halper show that I was going to be in. But yeah, I mean, in addition to waiting for your parents to die, you could try to find some teachable moments. I think a lot of people in the older generation have been insulated from a lot of the problems caused by neoliberalism and Obama-era politics. So, for instance, I don't know, maybe they've never had to buy healthcare on one of the exchanges before. Maybe you have. Maybe tell them. I pay like...
Sorry, I don't mean...
Maybe let them know how much of your salary per month you pay, and then you still can't afford to go to the doctor because your copay is like $100.
Yeah. I mean, that's the funny thing about my parents is that they actually used to live in Switzerland for like a very brief amount of time, but like I think they're aware of the benefits that come with living in a, like in an actual like welfare state. But I don't know, it freaks me out whenever they talk about this, but like I've had moments where I've been able to like move them a little bit, but it doesn't stick around long because I think they watch MSNBC all the time. Like I was talking to my mom a couple months ago about Lula da Silva in Brazil, and like I think I said something along the line of like my family's Catholic, and I said, like they're basically like Catholic social democrats, like liberation theologians, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And my
literally.
mom got really quiet for a moment, and she was like, I really get that. Like, I really, really get that. And the thing is like, I'm not in the house that much, but they're watching MSNBC all the time, and I can't come to the house all the time.
Turn them on to some podcasts. It sounds like they're intellectually curious people.
Get them into the Majority Report.
It sounds like
we're a good gateway drug.
It's a nice liberal show with occasional Marxists.
I was at a wedding in Houston.
I talk about you guys all the time. I like every time you go on whenever you go on Chris Hayes, I say like you should watch his show. And they're on the computer all the time, so I don't know why they're not doing it. But
there's this motherfucking kid who impersonates me on Seder's podcast.
Here's what you do, okay? You go into their computer, in their browser.
Yeah.
You change all of the addresses on their favorites on their browser bar. You go in. You don't change the logo or whatnot, but you go in. You hit info on their favorite their bookmarks. All you got to do is you hit, the bookmark manager, and you change it all and send them directly to YouTube videos of the Majority Report that you like, so that there's really virtually nowhere they can go online almost, and then they accidentally will fall into it, and that's what you do. So good luck with that, Patrick. Tell me how that goes.
All right, will do.
Thanks Patrick.
Appreciate it.